Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, with yet another episode of what we like to call True or False. Why? Well, because it is. End of story. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next episode. No, that was false. Anyway, if you haven't seen the show before, it's very simple and fun. Good combination, that. All you got to do is sit back, relax, and guess if the interesting trivia I'm going to share with you during this episode happens to be true or false. So the big question is, are you ready? Because if you are, then I am. If you aren't, well, I am anyway. So here we go. True or false? Lightning can strike in the same place twice. True or false? Very good. I think you got the answer to that one. And if you didn't, it is true. And if that isn't enough, folks, according to NASA, the third and fourth lightning strikes follow the same path as the second strike. As a matter of fact, that probably stands to reason. Last night here, there was an amazing series of thunderstorms, and I think that fact is true concerning lightning. It hit a number of times very close to my house. Next up for your true or false consideration, the universe is not expanding. The universe is not expanding. True or false? That answer happens to be false, and here's why. Distant galaxies are moving away, which is an evidence for an expanding universe. So it is expanding. Next up, humans are genetically related to bananas. Yeah, you heard me right. Humans, you and I, are genetically related to bananas. What do you think? True or false? Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the Hollywood star from Brazil who always wore bananas on her head. How could I forget that? For some reason, I just thought of her right now. She would like this question. And you know why? Because it is true. It is true. Humans and bananas share 50% DNA. Did you ever think you would have so much in common with bananas, and you might not even like them? Next up is this. You cannot smell while you are sleeping. True or false? You cannot smell while you are sleeping. The answer happens to be true. The olfactory, it's called olfactory sense, shuts down while you are asleep. So you cannot smell while you are sleeping, but you can certainly smell once you get up after sleeping. Next up, true or false? Adults can breathe and swallow at the same time. Adults can breathe and swallow at the same time. What do you think? True or false? I can't hear you. False, false. Air flows through the pharynx. During swallowing, the pharynx changes from an airway to a food channel. Interesting. So we cannot breathe and swallow at the same time. Don't know how that would be possible anyway. I actually tried to do it when I was researching this for you. Didn't work too well. We can do one or the other. So there. Next up, an octopus doesn't have one heart, doesn't have two hearts. An octopus has three hearts. True or false? Think carefully. Think as if your life depends on it. Thank God I'm not dramatic, huh? Well, an octopus has three hearts. Yeah, you know what? It does happen to have three hearts. Two hearts move blood beyond its gills, and the other heart helps in pumping blood around the body. Next true or false question for you. The main ingredient used in guacamole is avocado. Think about this carefully. The main ingredient used in guacamole is avocado. True or false? True or false? Of course, the answer is true. The dip, mostly served with tortilla chips, happens to originally be from Russia. No, just kidding, just kidding. Just checking to see if you're still with me. Are you still with me? Good. Do you like guacamole? I love it. I love it. Now, don't get me started about that because I'm going to start to get hungry, and I don't want you to get hungry. So, without further ado, here is the next true or false question. Goes like this. Feta cheese originates from Italy. True or false? I think you know the answer to that one, and if you said false, you are totally correct. Where does feta cheese come from? Feta cheese comes from the wonderful country and islands of Greece. It is made of sheep's and goat's milk. Have you been to Greece? Many of you know that I used to be a cruise director for many years, and I cruised the Greek Isles many times, along with Turkey. Wow, what an incredible part of the world that is. Did you know that actually Turkey happens to have more ruins than Greece? But it all used to be part of the same empire. I loved cruising those waters, and Athens is quite the amazing city as well, as is Istanbul. Incredible part of the world. Maybe you've been there and you know as well. Next up, true or false? It takes around 25 to 35 minutes for the eyes to adapt to darkness. True or false? That's true. And along with that, is this true or false? Eye patches helped pirates see better in the dark. So, of course, based on the previous question, you do know that eye patches did indeed help pirates to see better in the dark. Interesting. Next up, true or false, folks? Manatees follow a leader and happen to swim in groups. What do you think, true or false? The answer happens to be false. Here's why. Those mammals, manatees, often swim in pairs, and if they don't do that, then more often they swim alone. Next up, the Amazon River is the longest river in the world. True or false? Actually, the answer happens to be false. Here's why. While the Nile is no less than 4,132 miles long, it makes it the longest river in the world. Here is how long the Amazon is: 3,976 miles, which is no crazy fact. That's true. But the Amazon, again, is 3,976 miles compared to the Nile, which, as I just stated before, is 4,132 miles long. Whew. Long rivers. Nile cruises are very popular, or at least they used to be. Next up, Brazil is the largest coffee growing country in the world. Brazil is the largest coffee growing company in the world. True or false? What do you think? You probably got that one right. The answer happens to be true. The country has held that position for no less than 150 years. Wow. Second longest river in the world, and a very amazing distinction concerning coffee facts. That brings us to the last two and final questions. Don't be upset, don't fret, don't cry, don't be sad. We'll be back here with another episode very soon. But here's the second to last question for you. You are more likely to be legally executed than killed by lightning. True or false? You are more likely to be legally executed than killed by lightning. What do you think? True or false? Well, I sense you probably got that right. The answer is true. According to the National Safety Council, your lifetime odds of passing from legal execution, think lethal injection or the electric chair, are 1 in 119,000. When it comes to being struck by lightning, the odds jump way up from 1 in 119,000 all the way to 1 in 161,000. So yes, you are more likely to be legally executed than killed by lightning. The chances of being killed by lightning are just so much greater. Final question for your true or false perusal goes like this. The average person spends 5 years waiting in line in their lifetime. True or false? The average person spends 5 years waiting in lines in their lifetime. That answer happens to be false. Here's why. Studies do show that the average person spends about 2 to 3 years waiting in line and not 5. So there you go, folks. Hope you had a great time. I always do doing this. This is really a lot of fun for me, as I certainly hope it is for you. And with that said and done, this has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, with another episode of True or False.